Good morning and welcome to Business English Paris. Today I'd like to talk with you about the word environment. I covered the word environment, I think, yesterday on the blog, businessenglishparis.blogspot.com. And the reason I did that was because the environment has been it's always been a very important subject matter in our global society, but with the coronavirus outbreak, the subject of the environment has become front and center again, and for good reason, it turns out, because as it turns out, in many densely populated urban areas in the world, including cities in China like Shanghai, Beijing, Wuhan, European capitals like Paris, Madrid, London, Berlin, American cities around, and other cities around the world, it turns out that the coronavirus of 2020 was good for the air quality and was good for blue skies. And for a lot of scientists and other people, that was really something that was remarkable and very instructive, really, that, because of the lockdowns, because of the dramatic reduction in cars on the highways and factories and, coal burning, I don't know, whatever burns coal, heating methods, etc., that the environment was really, the positive sort of secondary effect of the lockdowns and the coronavirus pandemic, which is, somewhat ironic. But it did sort of inspire yesterday's word of the day, environment. And because this is Business English Paris, of course, I was looking at it from more of a business or workplace context. And I wondered, what do you think about your own workplace ethos? The sort of mood and the ambiance that permeates your workplace. Is it an ethos of wellness for employees in terms of their mental and their psychological and emotional well-being? Or is it an ethos of, you know, belittlement and sabotage and office politics that sort of results in a negative emotional and psychological well-being? Because it it really matters, and it's really, to some extent, I think, ironic that a lot of the people who are most vocal about, having clean air and having clean environment, and who, are on the streets with the signs and condemn their governments and international governments also of inaction or insufficient action towards cleaning the environment, are some of the same people, not all, but are some of the same people who tolerate, um, facilitate, encourage, participate in toxic workplace environments. Sometimes without, I think, even being conscious of what they're doing and what they are not doing to foster a healthy, green environment, not just in terms of the physical oxygen air quality, but in terms of how people are made to feel in the workplace. I mean, there are people with workplace phobia because they're so afraid of the belittling and the bullying and the stereotyping and the glass ceiling capping and, the exclusion and the discrimination and all of the other horrors that go on whether overtly or covertly, in a lot of workplaces. And so this sort of toxic environment, oftentimes it's bad, but people are afraid to talk about it and to complain about it and to admit it, because they feel that either they will be seen as paranoid, or they will literally be targeted and ultimately fired even. And so um, I wondered what you as a working individual think about that. Have you had any experience with or participated in, whether knowingly or unknowingly, a workplace environment that was in any way toxic for others? And going forward, what do you think should be the workplace strategy for your company or for other companies who may be impacted by this kind of toxicity in the workplace? What kinds of workplace strategies can sort of be put in place to align, the environment with, performance, and with, employee morale. Okay. Um, yeah. So what does that entail necessarily? I mean, I'm not even sure. I mean, I know that, in my own experience, in my life, I mean, I've seen a lot of toxicity in places that I have been in. And but I also see, the opposite of people really trying to foster a healthy work environment for themselves and for others. And in the end, it's really just a question. It's not a statement about anything or anybody. It's a question to you as a working individual. Do you think that your workplace environment is a healthy one for everybody concerned? And if it isn't, what types of strategies, workplace strategies specifically, do you think need to be implemented in order to align, a healthy work environment that everybody talks about with, what's actually going on, and with the performance, and, with people's actual um,